The clock read 11:58, a time frozen in limbo. Emma stared at it, hypnotized, lost in its stillness. "Is that where I am?" she muttered under her breath. "Stuck? Not moving forward? Not moving back?" She clutched her bag tighter, ready to step onto the arriving train and escape her existence, when a frail voice startled her. "Doesn't work, but I keep it," said an elderly man sitting on a bench a few feet away. Startled and unsure why she stayed to listen, Emma shrugged and replied, "Why keep it if it's broken?" The man smiled, his weathered face softening. "Fixed it once before. I tell myself maybe one day I'll do it again." The words lingered in the air, wrapping themselves around Emma's heavy heart. Was she, like the clock, broken but waiting to be fixed? Was there a one day left for her? She hesitated, letting the train pass, and sat beside the old man. They talked for hours, his stories of failure and resilience pulling at something buried deep inside her. He told her about surviving 2 bankruptcies, losing his wife, almost giving up, almost, until he found the courage to rebuild. "We don't fix ourselves for others," he said, placing a gentle hand on her bag. "We do it because we owe it to ourselves." Over the next few months, Emma started walking past that same clock every morning, nicknamed it Second Chances, and took it as a silent reminder that it wasn't too late to recreate herself. She got a job waitressing, humble work but honest. She quit the late nights, joined a small support group, and soon started sketching buildings again on old napkins between shifts. For the first time in years, she felt alive. Not fixed, but mending. But life has a way of testing one's commitment. One rainy evening, Emma received a notice in the mail. A lawsuit tied to a gambling debt from her past. The weight of old mistakes threatened to crush her progress. "Maybe I can't do it," she thought. But her feet carried her back to the broken clock. It was still there, still unmoving at 11:58. She placed her ears to its casing and listened. A faint tick struggled against the silence. The clock wasn't completely broken. It was trying. That night, Emma fought for herself. She confronted her debt, worked out a payment plan, and leaned on every ounce of strength she had garnered over the past months. It wasn't easy. Sometimes she cried herself to sleep. But she didn't give up this time. A year later, Emma stood inside her very first art gallery, gazing at an exhibit of her architectural renderings. She wasn't rich nor famous, but she was whole again in a way she never thought possible. On the wall behind her sketches hung a clock, a replica of the one she'd passed so many times before, set permanently to 11:58 as a symbol of her journey. Her story had traveled far and wide. Locals called her the girl who beat time. Emma knew the truth, though. She hadn't beaten time. She had simply chosen to move forward with it. Emma's story reminds us that brokenness is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. Whether it's a shattered dream, a lost love, or a mistake that feels insurmountable, every clock can be fixed with patience and effort. But the courage to try? That's what separates those who stay stuck from those who learn to tick again. So, what will you choose? The next step doesn't have to be perfect. It only has to be forward. Take your first small step today, because like Emma, you are worth fixing.